There are moments in life when the air feels different, when silence carries a weight, and something unseen begins to shift around you. That is the moment of divine alignment. It's when heaven decides to cover you, not to hide you from the world, but to reveal who you truly are beneath its noise. I am Shi, and today I want to speak about the mysterious dome of protection that forms around those who walk the path of awareness and discipline. Many think divine protection is a miracle that falls from the sky, but the ancient Shaolin masters taught otherwise. The real protection begins within. When your thoughts become clear, your actions pure, and your spirit unwavering, then a natural shield forms, silent, invisible, yet stronger than stone. In this video, you will learn why this dome is not superstition or fantasy, but a living field of energy that you create through your daily choices. You will discover how discipline shapes its foundation, how mindfulness strengthens its walls, and how integrity seals it from within. We'll explore forgotten lessons from the old monasteries, where warriors and monks lived without locks or guards, yet no darkness could enter their minds. Stay with me until the end, because the final teaching reveals the secret practice that keeps your dome active even in chaos, a practice few outside the temple ever hear about. So breathe deeply. Let go of distraction. You are not here by accident. Something has called you to remember your strength. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient wisdom meets the modern soul. If this path speaks to you, subscribe and walk with us, step by step, into mastery. The moment you stop controlling your actions, something else begins to control you. Discipline is not a cage, it is the doorway through which freedom walks in. When I first entered the temple as a young monk, I believed strength was built through force. I trained until my muscles trembled, until I could no longer feel the pain in my hands. But my master only watched silently. One day he placed a single bowl of water before me and said, "Hold this steady until I return." Hours passed, my arms burned, my mind screamed, I failed. The water spilled. He returned and simply said, "Now you see, discipline is not in the body, it is in the mind that holds the body still. Be it." That lesson became the foundation of my dome. Discipline is the quiet architect that builds the unseen walls around your spirit. Without it, the forces of distraction and doubt seep in like wind through a broken roof. With it, you stand firm, steady, even when the world trembles. In Shaolin, we learn that self-control is not about suppression. It is about awareness. When you wake before sunrise, when you train though no one watches, when you choose silence over reaction, these small acts lay each brick of your invisible dome. Every repetition strengthens its base. Every broken promise weakens it. Modern life offers endless noise, endless temptation, yet the chosen ones, the aware ones, walk through it untouched because they have built this base. They rise not through luck, but through rhythm, action aligned with purpose. So the dome begins not in prayer, nor in words, but in the discipline of the everyday, the breath, the movement, the decision to remain true when no one sees. That is where protection truly begins. When the mind wanders, the dome begins to crack. It's not the noise of the world that weakens you, it's the noise within. In the monastery, the old masters would say, "Where your attention goes, your life follows." Attention is the brush that paints the world you live in. Lose it, and you live inside someone else's picture. One of the earliest lessons in Shaolin training was to sweep the temple courtyard. It seemed meaningless at first, but the purpose was not to clean the stones, it was to clean the mind. Every motion of the broom was a meditation. Slow, rhythmic, precise, thoughts would rise and fall like the dust. And through this repetition, awareness sharpened. The courtyard became still, and so did the heart. Attention is not forced concentration. It is the art of seeing without resistance. The moment you observe your thoughts instead of becoming them, the dome begins to form around you, clear, strong, unshakable. Presence turns confusion into order, and chaos loses its power. In Shaolin understanding, presence is protection. The one who is fully here cannot be invaded by fear or distraction. Attention roots you into the ground like an ancient tree. The storm may howl, but your trunk does not sway. Each time you return to the breath, you repair the walls of your dome. Each time you notice anger rising and choose patience, the structure strengthens. Awareness is the mason, patience is the mortar. The masters knew that true defense comes not from armor, but from attention. When you are here, completely, silently, unbroken, the world cannot steal your peace. The dome is no longer something placed upon you, it becomes who you are. Awake, grounded, untouchable. A river carves through mountains not by force, but by flow. This is the secret the Shaolin masters guarded for centuries. Strength without softness is brittle, and softness without strength is powerless. True mastery lives between the two. In the training halls, young monks would strike wooden posts until their knuckles bled. Yet after the final blow, they would sit in stillness and breathe like falling leaves. The body hardened through effort, the spirit softened through silence. Both practices were one motion, expansion and release, yang and yin, tension and surrender. The dome of protection follows the same law. If it becomes too rigid, it shatters. If it becomes too soft, it dissolves. Its power lies in its balance. Life, too, demands this dance. There are moments that ask you to stand firm, when truth must be spoken, when injustice must be faced. But there are also times to bend, to listen, to yield. The wise do not fight the rhythm, they move with it. Resistance is the seed of suffering. Harmony is the path of endurance. In Shaolin thought, harmony is not the absence of conflict, it is the skill of moving through it with grace. The master knows how to hold strength in the bones and softness in the heart. The warrior's hand that defends can also lift a fallen child. When your dome holds both qualities, unyielding focus and gentle acceptance, it becomes alive, breathing with the rhythm of the universe. It shields without isolating, protects without hardening. Balance is the pulse of the divine field around you. Each breath, each step, each word either stiffens or softens it. When you find that middle point, the world cannot break you, for you have already learned how to bend. In the Shaolin way, strength without virtue is emptiness in motion. The masters taught that before one learns to strike, one must learn to bow. That simple gesture, forehead to the floor, is not submission to another person, but recognition of truth itself. It reminds the warrior that all power rests upon a moral ground. The floor of the dome is built from integrity. Without it, even the most disciplined spirit will eventually crumble. The ancients said, "A crooked heart cannot stand on sacred earth." Every act of honesty, every word spoken with respect, every moment of compassion, these are the stones that hold your dome upright. In the temple, young monks were not judged only by how well they fought, but by how they treated the weak, how they shared their food, how they spoke to elders. One could master 1,000 forms, yet if arrogance entered his eyes, the master would send him back to sweep the floors. For humility was not a rule, it was a protection. It guarded the soul from poison. Ethical living does not belong only to monks or saints. It is built in the small, unseen choices, returning what isn't yours, forgiving when it's hard, speaking truth when silence feels safer. Each act vibrates through the unseen, strengthening the base of your protection. The dome that stands on deception or pride will always tilt, but one rooted in virtue becomes unmovable because it aligns with the laws of heaven and earth. When you live by respect, compassion, and truth, life itself begins to defend you. The masters understood purity of heart is the first armor. The moral floor beneath your feet is not just foundation, it is the proof that your spirit walks in light, even through the shadow. The greatest battles are never fought on mountains or in temples. They unfold in silence, behind the eyes. To master one's world is to master the mind that interprets it. The Shaolin path begins not with conquering others, but with observing the chaos within. In the monastery, the morning bell would sound before the sun rose. Each monk sat cross-legged, facing the dawn. Thoughts came like clouds, plans, fears, memories. The lesson was simple: do not chase them, watch them drift until the sky clears. Through this discipline, the breath became a bridge between body and spirit. Inhale awareness, exhale attachment. What began as mere stillness became strength. quiet, steady, unshakable. When you step inside your dome of protection, this practice continues. You begin to notice the movements of your thoughts as if they belong to someone else. Anger arises, you watch it. Fear whispers, you breathe through it. Desire pulls, you observe without resistance. Each moment of awareness reclaims energy once scattered. Slowly the storm loses power, and calm becomes your natural state. Shaolin masters called this internal alchemy. It is the art of transforming raw emotion into refined energy. When frustration turns into focus, when pain becomes patience, the dome glows brighter. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer fight your thoughts, you guide them like a skilled archer's hand guiding the arrow. External mastery, the ability to act, speak, or lead, has little meaning without this inner command. The one who governs his own mind cannot be enslaved by the world. Through breath, stillness, and awareness, your energy flows cleanly without resistance. This is the heart of the dome, a sanctuary built not from walls, but from clarity. In this space, nothing outside can disturb what you have already mastered within. The final teaching every monk must face is the truth that nothing lasts, not the body, not victory, not even the walls of the temple. Everything flows, and peace belongs to the one who learns to flow with it. The ceiling of the dome is not fixed stone. It moves like the sky above, ever changing, ever alive. In the old temple courtyard, there was a single cherry tree. Each spring, its blossoms would fall in a shower of soft pink snow. The young monks loved its beauty, but mourned when the petals faded. The master would smile and say, "You grieve because you want to hold the spring, but the same hands that cling cannot receive." That was the lesson. Resistance creates suffering, but acceptance opens the gate to peace. To accept impermanence is not to surrender in defeat. It is to understand the rhythm of existence. Shaolin discipline trains the body to be strong, yet the spirit must be light enough to bend. When change comes, and it always does, you adjust your stance, not your essence. You move with the current, anchored in awareness. The dome that protects you is not a rigid shield. It is a breathing field that expands and contracts with your life. When you fight to keep things the same, cracks appear. When you trust the movement, the dome reshapes itself around your growth. Acceptance is the art of living without friction. It teaches you that endings are not losses, but passages into deeper understanding. The master stands calm, not because he controls the storm, but because he knows it will pass. When you let go of resistance, your energy stops struggling against life. In that quiet surrender, the ceiling of your dome shines clear, open to the sky yet forever whole. To live without purpose is to walk in circles inside your own mind. The dome is not built to hide you from the world. It is built to prepare you for it. Being chosen is not a title, it is a responsibility. The universe selects those who are ready to serve something greater than themselves. In Shaolin tradition, every act, no matter how small, carries intention. When a monk pours water into another's bowl, he does it with the wish that all beings be nourished. When he trains, he does it not for glory, but to strengthen his body as an instrument of compassion. In this way, purpose turns ordinary movement into sacred ritual. Purpose is the gateway of the dome because it directs your energy outward. Without it, the dome becomes a mirror that traps your own reflection. With it, it becomes a window through which your light can move into the world. The heart that acts for others generates a frequency the universe recognizes. Each selfless choice reinforces the field of protection around you. The masters taught that strength without service becomes corruption. True power flows only through open hands. The warrior who fights for himself tires quickly. The one who fights for others never runs out of breath. Purpose refines energy, sharpens focus, and steadies the spirit in chaos. Every chosen one must ask daily, who benefits from my actions today? When your deeds arise from alignment with truth and goodwill, your dome becomes unbreakable, not because it shields you, but because life itself moves to defend your intention. The gateway of purpose is the point where the inner and outer worlds meet. Through it, the energy cultivated within becomes service to the whole. and the path of mastery becomes the path of meaning. Freedom without form is chaos. The Shaolin masters often reminded the young monks that the river flows because its banks guide it, not because it is forced. Structure is the hidden riverbed beneath every life that runs true. The dome that surrounds you is not given freely, it is crafted with care, moment by moment through ritual and discipline. In the early mornings of the monastery, the sound of steps on stone echoed with purpose. Each movement, sweeping the courtyard, stretching the body, meditating, was a repetition, simple and precise. At first, it felt limiting. The young mind resented the routine, but slowly, through the rhythm of practice, the spirit learned its boundaries. Within these walls, something remarkable happened. The mind became free. It could move without distraction, act without hesitation, and think without chaos. Structure does not confine. It supports. The same principles apply outside the monastery. When you rise at the same hour, when you practice stillness, when you honor your commitments, you create invisible walls that stabilize your energy. These walls hold your attention, focus your strength, and guide your intention. They are the unseen architecture of inner freedom. Discipline in daily life becomes the pulse of your dome. Habitual mindfulness allows you to move through tasks without losing presence. Training the body and mind together cultivates a resilience that cannot be shaken by circumstance. The paradox is clear. Only through the walls of discipline does freedom arise. The dome is both shield and sanctuary, but it is alive, maintained through consistent effort. Each repetition, each moment of focus reinforces its walls. Within this framework, you discover the truth the masters have known for centuries. True freedom is not escape from rules. It is mastery of yourself within them, flowing like a river confined, yet unstoppable. Fear is the shadow that follows every step we take. Yet the Shaolin masters taught that fear is not an enemy to destroy, but a teacher to understand. The dome that protects you does not erase danger. It shapes your response. It is a shield forged not from avoidance, but from presence, courage, and calm. In the mountains, young monks trained with wooden swords, sparring until bruises marked their arms. Each encounter carried the threat of pain, yet the lesson was never in the strike. It was in the mind. To move in fear is to invite chaos. To move with awareness is to stand unbroken. The warrior learns to feel fear, acknowledge it, and let it pass without dictating action. This is the strength of the dome. It holds you upright while the storms of life roar around. Protection is not a wall that separates. It is an energy that centers. The one who cultivates peace does not close the door to challenge. Instead, the mind becomes steady, the breath unshaken, and the heart expansive. Obstacles arrive, but they are met with measured steps, not panic. Energy flows where it is needed, and attention remains in control. The masters would often remind the students, a shield is not heavy when it moves with you. The dome is the same. It bends with circumstance, adapts to pressure, and yet preserves your essence. You remain open, yet unassailable, aware, yet undisturbed. To transcend fear is not to eliminate it. It is to rise above its command. When you inhabit this dome, the world may strike, storms may howl, but your inner field of balance, discipline, and calm remains untouched. It is the ultimate lesson of Shaolin. Strength tempered by peace becomes impenetrable, and the spirit that meets life without flinching becomes invincible. The dome that surrounds you is more than a symbol. It is a reflection of your inner alignment, a mirror of discipline, awareness, and virtue. By embracing the principles of Shaolin, mindful attention, harmonious balance, ethical action, and mastery over your thoughts and emotions, you create a field of protection that is both strong and serene. Within this space, you are free to act with purpose, grounded in clarity, and unshaken by life's challenges. Remember, this dome is not built overnight. It grows through small, consistent practices, pausing to observe your thoughts, choosing patience over reaction, speaking truth with compassion, and moving through the world with calm awareness. Each moment you live with intention, the dome strengthens, and your spirit becomes more resilient. Carry this teaching into your daily life. Let it guide your choices, Anchor your energy and illuminate your path. Stand in your dome fully, open to the world yet protected from what would disturb your peace. Thank you for walking this journey with us. If this message resonates, like this video and subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire. Continue to cultivate your inner dome, and may your life flow with strength, serenity, and purpose.